Hi there everyone, this is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth with some very important information today, as new evidence has emerged that directly contradicts the narrative that this truck attack upon the Muslim family in London was the act of Islamophobia gone bad. As you know, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, has already gone on the record stating that this was in fact an act of terrorism. The leader of the NDP, Jagmeet Singh, has also already gone on the record with a speech in the House of Commons claiming that this was an act of hatred and this was Islamophobia gone bad, despite the fact that they had zero evidence for this at that time. I put out a video earlier explaining that Islamophobia is not the enemy. In that video I stated that Canadians didn't do the attack, that it was a hate-filled man, and that was coming from the narrative of the point of view that Justin Trudeau is saying this is a terrorist attack, which, as we said in that video and we'll reiterate in this one, the motives are still unknown. And in fact, the latest evidence would directly contradict what these politicians are trying to have you believe today. So we're going to go over some of those points. Namely, guys, first of all, immediately after this attack happened, the young man pulled up behind a taxi cab and he called out to him to say, "Please call the police, I've just killed somebody." The cabbie driver looked in his mirror and saw that there was blood on a damaged vehicle, so he called 911. And when the police arrived and they began taking the kid out of his vehicle, the cabbie driver said that he was both laughing and asking the cab driver to please film the arrest. On top of that, interviews were conducted with some of this kid's close friends who state emphatically that he is not an Islamaphobe, that he has never ever uttered anything about Muslims or the Islamic faith. In fact, one of his close friends, who was saying that he is definitely not an Islamaphobe, is from the Middle East. And he claims that his friend is a good kid. He's a good Christian, God-believing kid who is certainly not an Islamaphobe. And here's the real kicker, guys. His friend also revealed that 3 days before this attack, the kid was complaining to his friend that he was having problems with his new truck's steering. Yet the Prime Minister has already put it out there that this was an act of terrorism. And the leader of the NDP has already put it into the minds of the masses that Canada is a hate-filled place where Muslims are unsafe. It's possible the damage has already been done, guys, in the minds of the masses. It may come out soon that, yeah, this kid was just, you know, a schizophrenic or something, and he was, you know, laughing and asking them to film the arrest because they claimed that he, you know, did it on purpose, and he thought that was crazy. We don't know at this stage. Maybe his steering did default, but it's already been put into the minds of the masses that freedom of speech needs to be curtailed here in Canada. Otherwise, acts of hatred may happen again. So let's take a quick look at this New York Post article that revealed some of this new evidence that can't be overlooked. Suspect in deadly attack on Muslim family reportedly laughed during arrest. Nathaniel Veltman is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. The man accused of plowing his pickup truck into a Muslim family in what Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called a, quote, terrorist attack was reportedly wearing body armor and laughed as police arrested him. A taxi driver who witnessed Nathaniel Veltman's arrest after the horrific attack said he was on a break about 9 p.m. Sunday when he noticed a bloodied vehicle pull up behind him outside the Sherry Hill Village Mall. The pickup truck driver allegedly told the cabbie to call the cops, saying he had just killed someone. Well, right there, it seems a little odd, doesn't it? That someone would request that the police come, especially after doing something like that and claiming, "I just killed somebody, please call the police." Let's continue. The Yellow Taxi London president, Hassan Savalagai, spoke to the news outlet for the cabbie, who was too distraught to discuss the incident publicly. It was damaged with blood, he said, of the pickup's front end, adding that his driver thought the vehicle was involved in a hit and run and he called 911. The alleged attacker was wearing what appeared to be a bulletproof vest, a military-style helmet, and clothing that perhaps was covered with swastikas, the cab driver boss said. Police have confirmed that the driver was wearing a body armor style vest, but a spokesman declined to say whether or not he was also wearing anything with swastikas. I mean, it's interesting that they declined to confirm that or not. Maybe they want that narrative to go on. But at any rate, it is interesting that he was allegedly wearing a vest, a body armor styled vest, as the police said. So let's continue. When they got him out of the vehicle, he was laughing, he said, adding that Veltman allegedly asked the cabbie to record his arrest. You know, usually when you are laughing and asking somebody to film this, hey, film this arrest for me, it's usually because you think it's an unlawful arrest or that you are being arrested wrongfully. Is it possible that the police officers were already, alleging to him that he is responsible for this, doing this on purpose, to which point he was just laughing it off, saying, guys, film this arrest for me, please film this? It's very interesting. He's really traumatized. It is terrifying. You're all by yourself, he told the Free Press. Veltman, 20, has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and the deaths of Salman Azil, 46, his wife, their daughter, and his mother. The couple's 9-year-old son was injured in the carnage. The suspect, a part-time egg packing facility employee, was described by co-workers as a nice guy. He also has no known ties to hate groups, and a friend insisted he is not an Islamaphobe. Nate is not a radical terrorist. He is nothing like that. He's not an Islamaphobe. That's not who this kid is. The friend, who hails from the Middle East, told the London Free Press. The friend, who wished to remain anonymous, added that he never heard Veltman say a bad thing about the Middle East or Muslims. Nate was a very close friend and never said anything bad to me. Again, his close friend was from the Middle East, and he had never received any kind of inclination that this kid was an Islamaphobe. Yet Trudeau seems pretty sure of it. He's a Christian, and he has a great relationship with God. He was always pretty calm towards other people, said the man who wished to be unnamed. One of the 2 friends, who is also a co-worker, get this guys, said that 3 days before the attack, Veltman was having trouble with his new truck's steering. I actually drove with him on Thursday, he said, adding that on Friday, Veltman asked him to finish his work for him because a family member had died. And the news outlet goes on to confirm that indeed a family member did die. So this kid wasn't lying about that. Why would he be lying about the fact that his friend told him 3 days before that he was having trouble with the steering on his new truck? Is it possible, guys, that he had trouble with the steering? That, he was asking for the cabbie to call the police because he messed up? That he was laughing at the accusations and asking the cab driver to film the arrest with the police because he felt it was an unlawful arrest? All these things are very, very plausible, guys, yet right now they are trying to convince you that Canada is a hate-filled place and there's a great deal of Islamophobia floating around here, guys. May I remind you that the government was caught red-handed convincing Canadians that there was a case of Islamophobia with a severe case of hatred where a man cut a girl's hijab. They went all over the news saying that Islamophobia is real, it's here, you can clearly see it. Turns out the whole thing was a hoax. It was entirely untrue. But as I said, the damage was already done in the minds of the masses to think that Islamophobia is a real thing. And guys, let me just kind of close off with stating this. Islamophobia is really a nonsensical term because a phobia implies an irrational fear of something, when really there's nothing irrational with having concerns with a religion and a culture that is at odds with our Western Christian standards and values here. So the term Islamophobia in general needs to be rejected, lock, stock, and barrel moving forward, because this is a move towards censorship. This is a move towards the blocking of the free flow of online. This is a step towards Bill C-10 being written into law. And this is all being done by manipulating your fear state, guys. So again, we have to reiterate, at this stage in the game, we don't know a motive. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves with these politicians who are claiming that they know what happened before an investigation has even been carried out. It's just absolutely insane. As I said, they've been caught doing it before. It would not surprise me if this is another case of the same thing. So very, very important to keep that in mind moving forward, guys, when you're being manipulated by the powers that ought not to be, who want to use these events in order to steer the narrative into a direction that they will be able to gain more control. Don't fall for it, guys. If you appreciate the information we're bringing to you in this video, please click that thumbs up button, share the video. God knows they're trying to suppress this type of information from being seen. They don't want the masses to realize this is all a big, you know, a setup to have you just in a perpetual state of fear. And they will use any and every event or opportunity they can to do that. So I'm going to continue to pay very close attention to this one, guys, as more evidence, I'm sure, is going to be coming out in the coming days. So stay tuned as I continue my coverage on this one. That's all for today, guys. Once again, please click that thumbs up button, share this video if you found the information to be useful, and stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.